Aquarius, this is your July 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. Thanks so much for supporting the channel and tuning in. It's Romy here. Please do make sure you subscribe, drop me a like and a comment if it resonates for you. It really helps to support my work. We are opening up this month for you with the energy of the Seven of Swords, and I want to say to you that in July, you're going to need an awful lot of extra space around you. I think that there will be some surprising reactions from people this month, largely due to their nervousness and anxiety, but the projections can be unhelpful. I think you'll find the antidote through a degree of consistency in how you're showing up for yourself in the day-to-day. Remember, we're looking at 6th house energy during Cancer season for you, Aquarius. And this is really going to help to ensure that you can keep some semblance of sort of balance between mind, body and soul. We approach this full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd of the month, and it's in 12th house energy. And, you know, this is a really healing feeling month. We've got Venus retrograde, we've got Chiron going retrograde. And anywhere where there has been some degree of avoidance, and particularly with the 7 showing up, where there has been a degree of self-sabotage for you, something's culminating and really being illuminated in your conscious awareness around that Capricorn full moon. And it's positive in the sense that it's really going to help you to address it and to draw a line under it and really make a conscious decision about, you know, who you want to be and how you want to live your life moving forward, because something isn't working anymore. So that avoidance or that repeated getting in your own way to stop you from moving in the direction of the things that you want for yourself or the desires that you have, you know, it's coming in now on a frequency that says it's sort of now or never. And so it's quite a powerful, you know, lunar light for you at the beginning of July and sort of setting the tone, because I think it's getting your thought forms in the right order and sort of preparing, if you like, to, you know, really let something significant go. Now, this is a month that you may not resolve or heal or fix everything or anything, but it will light up the way for you to begin or to return or to face and to be able to move forward step by step. Now, your Page of Swords tells me that the way you're communicating, how you're expressing yourself, how you're showing up, it's really leaving a lasting impression on people. And I think it's because there's a degree of rawness and openness that perhaps people haven't seen from you before, or you're just willing to be more frank and direct about what you have going on, what you might be dealing with and trying to navigate. And that's sometimes necessary so that you can almost enforce a boundary or really help people to sort of understand why you're not available, or why you can't give any extra right now, or why you are, you know, in an energetic space where you do need more of this space to breathe right now. This is going to really help you, I think, notice the connections that are fueling you, and not the ones that are just helping you to run further away from yourself, because again, that's sort of leading into this self-sabotage energy that we see showing up. You are allowing people to have a seat at your table, and July is a month where you're going to be reviewing who's been invited. And, you know, there's this sense of there was a time you didn't know any better. But now that you do, this is where the test in, because what will be your response? What will be your changed behavior? And, you know, we're going to approach on the 9th of the month, Pallas Athena shifting into the sign of Virgo, and the following day, Mars moves into Virgo. So we have to create a new strategy here, and they're going to support and help us to do that, ensuring that we're not waging war on ourselves or being overly critical or harsh, but rather doing things that really move our spirit and move our soul. And the Knight of Wands tells me that there is a restlessness about you through the month of July as well. And I think, again, this is where you need space, either from people or situations, or even space from thinking about certain things that have just been really overwhelming. And you've been perhaps doing too much over-analysing around it. So, this supportive, strategic energy from Athena and from Mars, I think, will do wonders for you to really ensure that you get back on track and that you're sort of honouring whatever it is that you need through the course of this month. The Knight of Wands tells me that there's a passion, there's a desire, there's a sort of burning ambition that, again, perhaps hasn't been fully tapped into or fulfilled. And you may have experienced a whole series of setbacks and disappointments over the last few days, few weeks, few months, even a whole chapter that spanned years, but it's never gone away. And sometimes that can be frustrating, we just wish that we would get past it or move beyond it, because it feels like the doors are just not opening. But this is a month where we're healing and we're facing things. And in Cancer season, where we have to reconnect to one's inner child, reconnect to our roots, look at what makes us feel safe so that we can have those intimate conversations with ourselves and others. And this is like necessary foundational work. Remember, all of these retrograde energies are about bringing resolution. So as much as they bring blessings and they also bring lessons for us, everything is geared towards emerging from them with a truer sense of who you are, with beautiful growth and resolution to the patterns or the issues or the things that have surfaced. And so, as you move through this month that's incredibly tender and is going to make you go there, have those conversations, face those things, put you right out your comfort zone, across all areas of your life. And here we have this sort of looking back. Sometimes we have to look back to be able to give ourselves permission to move forward. And, I think you're sort of almost contemplating the validity of certain storylines that have remained very powerful and dominant in your thinking. Now, remember, the Venus retrograde especially is going to be bringing a lot of people back from the past, particularly around the energy of love, or really close connections for you. And, it is in that 7th house. There's a lot of mirror energy that forces you to face things within the self and, open up around the shadow work that's necessary. I think there are some really beautiful experiences, though, that you're also going to encounter through this month. And as I said, through this sort of making an impression, it feels like it leads you on this really kind of curious, interesting, quite magical journey where you're going to stumble across new people, new ideas, new places. Perhaps there'll be some things coming back from the past and absolutely surprising you in the best possible way. Where we have done the work in certain areas, that's where these retrogrades can kind of karmically deliver for us. And, what we're doing through this month is really helping to put things back into the right order to allow a greater degree of flow to happen. That said, I have a sense for you, Aquarius, this month that there's a certain degree of unpredictability in the timing and the sequence of events, but they're sort of almost necessary, because when they start to feel like they're out of order for you and they kind of plunge you into a little bit of indecision, well, this is where I was going to focus my effort, or this is who I thought, I needed to kind of align to, or, whatever that sort of firm belief that had been, backed up evidentially, and then gets sort of thrown up in the air a little bit. It will force a little bit of a pattern interruption and almost get you out of your head and start opening up to some new possibilities. And that's going to be really important, because we're going to start building on this over the next few weeks. And, this is also giving you an opportunity to demonstrate a sort of new approach and a changed behaviour for yourself in some regard as well. So where we have the decision or the pause or the moment of kind of almost self-doubt creeping in, and I feel like you're going to be hitting this sort of through the mid-month, it's finding its resolution as we approach the new moon in Cancer on the 17th, which also has the auspicious energy shift of the North Node coming into Aries. Remember, that's connected into our growth, fulfillment, the highest expression of our destiny. And this sort of reset, but also this kind of plunging you forward on a timeline or into a pathway that's truly meant for you, will help you to see that, some of the reasons why these things were sort of changed in their order of events, the sequence of events that they needed to land for you. And even if through that process it's felt like somewhat of a rejection, if it's been positioned that something better is coming in for you, which I believe it will, you will very quickly get past it, move beyond it, and be able to heal from it. But remember, all of us are going to be shown like the highlight reel, if you like, through the course of July, as to the things that we need to address and the patterns that are still repeatedly showing up for us in relationships. And remember, relationships are the way that we truly learn most about ourselves. We have a relationship to absolutely everything, not just people, to the world around us, the environment, everything that is a part of our existence. Now, as we move into Leo season, of course, that 7th house energy, on the 22nd, the sun shifts into the sign, same day that Venus will officially station retrograde. But you've been working with themes since the 19th, so you know what's kind of coming your way, so to speak. The Ace of Pentacles is beautiful because we do have this almost reset and something being presented to you that shows this possibility, this seed, this spark. And I feel this is coming in by way of some sort of offer. Now, maybe it's going to come through from, the romantic love relationship that you're connected to, which means that there's a lot more negotiation and work to be done, through retrograde. So that's one aspect of it. But also for others, I feel like there's something about you finally being ready to make your mark in the world in regards to something, and really starting to get some more positive news and traction where something has felt like it's been treading water, spinning wheels, and you've just felt that it was difficult to find the right support or the right people that kind of believed or saw your vision or even saw the potential in you. So it's incredibly auspicious when I see this showing up, and that's why you have to sort of open your mind and your heart to the way in which the universe is going to be directing you this month, because it's not going to make a lot of sense. And the astrological climate, Aquarius, is one of continuous roadblocks and speed bumps. There's a lot of squares and oppositions showing through the month, which slows us down. And it's not a no, but it might be a not yet, or not this way, or hey Aquarius, there's a better time for this, a better approach, a better person, a better whatever that you need to consider or that needs to be presented to you. And this is why I'm saying you're going to need that space all around you. If you feel too overwhelmed, if you cram your diary too full, if too much is being asked of you, you'll end up making impulsive decisions without seeing all of the options on the table. And that would be a mistake, because I think there's things that are coming up that are perfect for you, that you couldn't have envisaged any better yourself in all of the ways you've been trying to architect what you want out of your life. So there's something going to get your attention. I also feel like something needs to be replaced this month, and I want to say to you, don't hesitate, because I think this is something that you've been thinking about needing to replace for a long time. Now that can span, a whole variety of different things, from a relationship right down to, something practical that needs upgraded or shifted or changed. But where you're feeling into that, and you know that this has been on your mind for some time, this is the time to address it. Okay, especially if you have to purchase or invest in anything. The Venus retrograde is a great time for really getting a steal. Not necessarily the best time for selling things, because sometimes we can truly undervalue, not get the best price for something. So keep that in mind. But your whole prosperity, money story going through a powerful transformation through the course of the next few weeks as well with this transit. And that's really positive, because as we see these new emerging ideas for you and people kind of willing to bet on you, willing to back you, willing to, give you a seat at their table or invite you in or kind of open up their world to you, you need to truly feel entitled to that, worthy of that, ready for that. So that sort of confidence is also almost gathered up through this month, because you are allowing what needs to be healed and released and dealt with and faced, which is, you know, often deep-rooted resistance and challenge that we have around our sense of value, and tied into that sort of money story. It's impossible to measure our progress in one moment or in one day, and sometimes we really have to give ourselves the opportunity to look at a much wider picture, bigger picture. And, you know, this month is one of coming full circle. Now, when you come full circle, it's going to bring about some mixed feelings for you through the month. Partly it's going to be like, okay, good, I feel like I've kind of closed this off, I've made progress, this is wonderful. But there's also going to be things where you feel like I've just taken an enormous step back, and I've done all this work, or I've come all this way, or made all this change, and why have I ended up here? And so you're going to have to, again, almost like zone out, because if you're becoming too focused or narrowed on one specific thing, we need to look at the context of the entirety of your journey spiritually right now. So again, don't use that, right, as justification to start judging yourself, being overly critical, or in any capacity trying to move back into some sense of self-sabotage, because the sort of the coalescing of people's projection, the sort of nuisance, interference, distraction energy of July, the healing that we're having to face that can feel quite tender, and that Achilles heel, you know, all lends itself to sort of feeling quite destabilized and disrupted. And yet at the same time, there's these beautiful, incredible sort of moments, like downloads, bright, vibrant light that's coming in, that's saying, you know, I know what I want, I know how to move towards it, I've got the passion, the energy, the drive, the wherewithal, I'm not giving up, and the universe is backing you on this. So there's like two storylines that are like running concurrently, side by side. And if you're not careful, if you get too focused on like the one side of things, you're going to miss out, or you're not going to see the true value of all the other things that are flowing into you in an extraordinary way. So if you're new to the channel, the last 3 cards we pull in the extended version of the reading, I talk for another 25 to 30 minutes or so, just to give you deeper insight into the month ahead. It's a way to support my work. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify these main cards and see some of the messages that we'll be working with. So 7 of Swords, we've got the Page of Pentacles. So in the extended reading, we'll also look at a personal question for you and a relationship card, as well as go into these messages. Okay, Page of Swords, we have 9 of Cups and 10 of Wands. All the decks that I use are listed as in the comment and description box underneath. Okay, 6 of Cups, Knight of Swords, that's certainly returning energy. 10 of Cups, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, wow, okay. 7 of Swords, okay. 6 of Pentacles. This month, Aquarius, to complement the soul stories, you'll find my soul meditations, which again are linked below, are around heart healing. And also there's a journey around navigating like solar flare frequency. So if you're really sensitive and very affected by that, again, these will be something you can check out. So this is work that I create just to support you in your journey. This is Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my deck. You'll see the box here if you're new to the channel. Also my book. So these are creative projects, again, filled with insight, spiritual wisdom to support you, so please do check them out over on my website. We've got Enlightened in the Exhale, Spirit Wolf, Rise in Love, Nourish Your Inner Wealth, got Spirit Owl, Third Eye Energy. A lot going on behind the scenes with these 7 of Swords and then the Spirit Owl coming through as well. I'll explore that a little bit more for you in the extended. Okay, this is the Ocean Dreams Oracle. What do we have for Aquarius? You actually had 2, so I will take them both. Familiar Hearts and Sovereignty. Interesting. And then finally, we're going to pull a goddess card. Again, we'll go into these messages through the extended. Artemis, focus. I'm tenacious and unwavering in my intention. Oh, I love that for you. Okay, Aquarius, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you and your support. If you're joining me for the extended, I will continue this cosmic conversation there. Otherwise, I will see you again next time.